Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for another car event. Today we are in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania for the 2024 Cadillac and LaSalle Club Grand National. I have been to one Grand National before, and that was back in 2017 before I even had this YouTube channel, but I absolutely loved it there, saw Cadillacs like no other. But I'd like to take you guys around to see what we can find, so let's go ahead and start taking a look. So I'd like to also mention that within the description of this video are links to gmcarclubs.org as well as the Cadillac and LaSalle Club. These people involved in these clubs are the ones that put on shows such as these, and there's a lot of enthusiasm around these cars. And if you have a Cadillac or any other sort of GM car that you'd like to be involved with the club, please consider joining. It's well worth it and you won't regret it. So we're going to start over here where we have some of the older Cadillacs, some of the pre-war models, and then we'll just kind of work our way around kind of into the 50s and different eras as we go around the show. And this one is a V16 Fleetwood, and it has been redone at some point, but it does look really well done. Nice and tasteful. There's a sign there, 7-passenger Imperial sedan, 47 made in 1932, selling for $7,200. So you can see there are jump seats back there, footrest kind of folded up. Now this is a LaSalle, I believe. I don't know much about LaSalles, but we'll take a quick look at this one. Obviously at the time it was a little bit lower of a trim level or a lower model than Cadillac, but still nicely appointed. Maybe not quite all the same features as what a Cadillac would have had, but still a really nice looking car. There's another LaSalle there. Here's another bigger looking Cadillac. The paint here looks a little bit more original, but who knows if it's been redone. Here's the inside. Kind of like the looks of the cloth. Is the paint original or has it been redone at some point?
As far as I know, everything's original.
Wow. Wow.
Yep, it's got a new wiring harness put in about 10 years ago from the previous owner, and other than that,
nice. That is cool. What kind of model is it? What would this be called?
This is a Fleetwood 70 series.
Fleetwood 70 series.
19. I know the Cadillac's got the big 4-digit codes.
Well, this Series 75 does not have a divider window, but it does have jump seats. I like how they're kind of integrated into the front seat there. What do you think those, is that just a cigarette lighter and a ashtray probably in a window control?
That's what I would guess.
Here's the trunk of the Series 75. Yeah, I love the lines of this car. It does look very limousine-like.
On a car with a divider window, it has 2 of them on the other side, so you can lock the guy in.
Oh, neat.
That owns it.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Huh. That is cool. So it has a little bit of space to slide back, I
So
see.
You just get a little breeze in there. I had a 76 Coupe de Ville. I worked at Cadillac then.
Did you really?
And I like that 76 Coupe de Ville. And if you notice, all the Fleetwoods run the stainless all the way back.
Ah, okay.
You notice that? You notice the 53s down there, and the 66s and all. They all got the stainless all the way along the bottom. That's how you know they're Fleetwoods.
And over here, you got a lot of 50s Cadillacs, maybe late 40s. Check some of these out. Some of them are still covered. The show only really just started, so maybe later in the day we'll be able to come back and check out some of those. 41 Cadillac convertible coupe. Style 6267D, 3100 built. Only about 1,000 with the hydromatic transmission. Shipped April 4th, 1941 to Chicago Gold Coast Cadillac branch. That's neat. Southern California, 51,000 original miles. Man, I would just love to drive this car along the California coast, especially with the top down on a beautiful day. Here's some of the 50s cars, all those pastels, the blues, the greens, AC with those tubes running through the rear windows. Man, I love this color, it really stands out. This looks very similar, except it's a 4-door. And I really love the kind of fake looking vents on the side. It's almost influenced just by aircraft, and obviously you got the little bit of the fins in the back. I believe this is where you actually fill up the gas cap there, it's probably by pressing that button. The exhaust is integrated into the bumpers. It's really neat, a consistent theme across all of the Cadillacs from the 50s. The windows are open on this one, so we'll check out the interior. Love that material on the dashboard, that is neat. Still has a lot of space back there, even for a coupe. This one is a 54. Wow. What is the specific model?
This is a 1947 6109. Finished restoring 22 years ago.
Wow.
So I think the restoration was beautiful.
Wow.
When it was finished restoring, we took it to Dearborn, Michigan for the Grand National there in 2002. And it was the 100th anniversary of Cadillac.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it got first prize.
Wow, it deserved it, I can tell. Lots of room. Looks like a little ashtray in the armrest there. That's handy.
Yeah, there's ashtrays in the back armrest.
Wow, I love it.
And lighters.
And lighters, of course. Yeah, I love the lines and the split windshield. The Goddess looks a lot more aerodynamic than she would have on some of the older cars. So I was just talking to someone and found out that these are 53 Eldorados, these two cars here. That's a 54. You can tell that the styling has changed a good bit since then. And these cars have wraparound windshields, which apparently is a first for 1953. So it's kind of one way to tell what model year the cars are. They really like the color combination on this particular convertible. But it is kind of cool to see the styling changes. Got a little bit of a different style on the front end, smaller slats in the grille. Pretty neat to see.
Isn't it just absolutely beautiful?
Yeah, I love that color.
You painted it or you had it painted? You painted it yourself?
Clearwater, Florida, 53. Wow. I love this green. Beautiful. I wonder if that's where the air comes in for the AC.
It's more like a commercial refrigeration unit than anything else.
Oh, I see. It does say Frigidaire on it, so that's when GM owned them at that time. That's neat. Okay. And I can't help myself. I just need to check out this particular coupe. I love this era of Cadillac coupes. This with the sloping rear end and the fins in the back. It really reminds me of like a P-38 from World War II. Oh yeah, I love how they have the seat belts wrapped up. And still, honestly, a fair amount of space in back. I can't really show it on camera. Yeah, let's look at that rear window. 3 different panes. It's just that sloping fastback look. To me, it looks a lot more modern than it actually is. And a unique color too. Usually I see these in black. I'm not sure if this would have been an original Cadillac color at the time, but I think it works. Early 70s?
72.
72? Okay. Interesting embroidery on the seats. Now, I'm not sure, would they have had footrests back then? They did.
Yes, they would have.
Wow, I like that. I really like the footrests in these Fleetwoods. I do like this era of Eldorado.
1970.
Definitely more distinctive, I guess, from maybe some of the later models, I don't know. And the really pointed back end. Thin taillights. Yeah, it has a nice look. I just don't see this era that often for whatever reason. Who knows why. So over here is the 1971 Eldorado, which is 1 year apart from the 1970 we just saw. And it is incredible to see just how different the styling is. This truly does look like a 70s Cadillac, whereas the 70s still looks like it was designed in the 60s, because it was. But it's just amazing how quickly the eras were moving on styling-wise. We've seen some flower cars from the 40s in the past. Get a closer look at the interior. Still looks to be nicely appointed. I have no idea what those buttons and levers do. 1974 Cadillac 6ZZ90 flower car. I have no idea what those numbers stand for. Still really unique though. And it certainly does look tall with that final roof.
Okay, this is the first year of the Talesman, 1974. And this year is unique because the back seat, this is only a 4-passenger car. They have the same center console in the back with the little flip-up table and everything. So I think people complained that they could only haul four people in the car. So for 75 and 76, they eliminated the big center console in the back.
I like the center console. I think it's kind of cool. And they had a writing table of some sort, either in the front or the back.
In the front, it would, and I definitely in the front, it would flip up, and those little lights and a pencil and a notepad that would when you open up the center armrest.
Wow.
And you can open up different ways. There's those levers
Yep.
do different, flip up different things, and same with the back. So possibly the back also had the writing table.
And how would this have compared to like a Series 75? Is this technically
this
more?
Is a Fleetwood. No,
Okay.
This is the same as a Fleetwood, except it's called the Fleetwood Talesman. So it has a much plushier interior. You can see the seats are extremely puffy. The padded roof is much thicker. It was basically a Fleetwood with, I believe, a $2,000 option for the Talesman. They claim that there was an additional $2,000 option for leather. Been online, no one has said they've ever seen one with leather, because that would have really been an expensive option. And I've never seen a leather Talesman. The doors have extra padding, and if you look at the seats, they're extremely puffy.
No, it looks really, really nice. This would be a really comfortable car to take on a road trip. And I'm sure being from that era, it rides really well too, because just about every Cadillac from that era rode really, really well.
Float down the road.
And there are just Cadillacs upon Cadillacs upon Cadillacs. Every era, just about everything you can imagine. And we found a Series 75 over here.
I have the optional.
The Landau.
Well, they call it Landau, but I don't have the Landau. They just
Blanked out this
blanked
window.
out.
That's
yeah,
right, yep.
$1,000 option and not have the window.
Yeah,
Because they used to cut. They would do whatever people wanted back then.
yeah, it was the last gasp of. Well, I had this car strewn up, literally torn down to the bone, and
Did you really?
and they said they used lead tin filling, like a guy went along with an asbestos glove. That's what they used, and wiped when they did the joints. When I had it opened up in here and all the panels out, there were droplets, so they weren't kidding. Droplets of the lead.
This is a really unique color on this Fleetwood. Kind of a pale green. I don't know what you'd call it. 1976. It's a Brome. D'Elegance. Yeah, look at those seats, how poofy they look. So is this one trim level below like a Talesman or something else like that?
Trim one step below a Talesman.
I think I see footrests back there.
Should have.
Yeah,
76 was
that's
the last
neat.
Year of the footrest.
It was.
I'm sorry, 77 was the last year.
Okay.
77.
I like the black wheel covers. That looks really, really nice. I have never seen a station wagon from this era before. Really beautiful blue.
78 Fleetwood. They took a Fleetwood to make this one.
Wow, that would have taken some extra money. 1979 Cadillac Brome, specialty and unique division fact sheet. 1979 Cadillac Fleetwood Brome d'Elegance station wagon. One of 7 wagons made in 1979, the only one with an Astro roof. Special ordered by the owner of Wilson Chrisman Cadillac, Birmingham, Michigan, for the transport of customers. The car began as a Fleetwood Brome 4-door sedan, upgraded with heavy-duty front and rear springs, heavy-duty front and rear shocks, heavy-duty cooling, 3.23 rear axle ratio, high output alternator, and heavy-duty transmission cooling system. The coach builder was R.S. Harper Custom Coach, Inc. of Fraser, Michigan. Coachwork by Fisher, body interior by Fleetwood. That is an interesting place for a plaque. Never seen that before. There's the Astro roof. It's got a luggage rack on top. There's the back seat. All the carpeting. This is really cool. Now this has probably one of the best looking paint jobs here. Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Look at that interior. And we have permission to open this one too. Wow.
That red leather with the black is stunning.
8,000 miles, he said?
Yes.
That is nothing. Oh, it smells like a brand new car in here too. Oh, I love that smell. It doesn't smell like it's old or anything like that. It just smells good. Yeah, that's neat. Oh, solid. So this era of Seville is truly, truly beautiful. And I think this is the perfect color combo too, with the red pinstripe and the black paint. This is really nice. And Dad, what do you know about this era of Seville?
Well, this is the beginning. 76 was the first year, so this is 1 year after they just came out. And this was the top of the line. It was obviously the Series 75 was the most expensive Cadillac, and this was the second most expensive. So originally they were going to call this a LaSalle, but because LaSalle had been kind of
lower trim level, lower
they
vehicle,
didn't want to
yeah.
call it LaSalle. They wanted to bring the LaSalle name back, but then they thought it'd be the wrong message. They wanted this to be the top of the line. So they were competing very hard for BMW and Mercedes. They wanted the people that wanted smaller cars. So they did things like Mercedes. They tried like 4-wheel disc brakes, some other features that were common on a Mercedes that were not common on American-made cars. So obviously smaller body, but yet good ride, handling, performance.
Yeah, and I love the looks of this era too. It really does have just a nice look to it, good proportions, and obviously this car is in really, really good shape. And we have permission from the owner to open it up too, so we can open it up and see what it looks like. And look at that black interior. Oh yeah.
Seats, which was an option.
Twilight Sentinel, looks like. And delay wipers, tilt and telescopic steering wheel, I would imagine. Maybe not. Close the door. Good job. Yeah, this thing is just in such good
like
shape.
Would where it had the reading lights in the back and things like you'd have on a Fleetwood.
Wow. Yeah, I really like it. It's a nice size. I mean, it's good. 3,400 miles. The owners bought the car, took it to Florida, and parked it. I just can't imagine myself buying a brand new Cadillac and letting it sit forever and eventually just selling it. I mean, that is just insane. We'll take a look at the interior. We have permission to open up the door. Let's look at that like checkerboard style almost interior with the fabric and the plastic still on the seats. Not a single crack on the dashboard, not a bubble, not anything is worn. And a telltale sign is by looking at the pedals. Still have all the rubber on them. So obviously it's not like the odometer's rolled over or anything like that. Just look at that. This is definitely a 70s interior, but I love it. Wow, he's about to roll over 3,500 and that's it. Incredible. You just don't see a whole lot of cars with this kind of mileage from this era.
If you'd like to open the door, you're welcome to it.
Oh, thank you. How many miles are on the car?
33,000 miles.
33,000. Incredible.
It's stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Electronic fuel injection. I love that sticker. That is so cool. 77. Sunroof. Wow. This one's in really good shape too. If you like Sevilles, this is Seville heaven right here. Yes, this Seville would have been after this era.
Exactly.
So what years do you think this would have been for?
1980 would have been the first year of this body style.
I'm sure it was controversial with that kind of sloped humpback, yeah.
Controversial because it had started off, they were, the diesel engine was standard.
Trying to save on fuel economy. And
they had, yes, the V864 and then the HT4100 engine, which there were issues with that. So there were several years where they had engine issues. Although they say the V864, if you disconnected the computer that made it change the cylinders, that it was a great engine.
It is beautiful. I think I still like the proportions of that era, especially with all the mechanical stuff. Wouldn't have had the same issues as whatever engine this would have had probably, but yeah, very nice looking. Yeah, I really like the color combo on the interior. Very nice looking seats. Another station wagon. So Dad, you were...
Sunroof.
Oh, with the sunroof, just like the other one. And you were thinking this is an 80, what was it?
This is going to be very early 80s. I think it looks like I had an 82, and I'm going to guess it's close to that era.
87, interesting. That's pretty new then. Another one with the sunroof. A little bit hard to see the inside. The windows, I don't think they're tinted, but I think it's just bright outside. And it has rear-facing seat too. That's kind of neat. Again, kind of an interesting era to see a station wagon. So is this a 92, maybe?
1990.
1990, okay. So you were saying earlier that these are becoming popular because of the engine?
Yeah, the 5.7 liter V8, so it's a very good engine. People like this body style, so you're going to have the best engine with this body style if this is the body style that you like. Very collectible right now.
Yeah, is it like a gray kind of, or a, what would?
Slate gray.
Slate gray. So tell me about the car. What can you say?
Low production, 1600 built in 1991. Standard sedan DeVille, slate gray with slate gray interior and dark slate gray accent on the bottom. 18,000
nice.
mile car.
18,000.
Yes, the interior is like new. It still smells like 1991.
Love that.
Window stickers in the window, the original invoice.
Any special options that the car came with or anything like that?
C package car, but it had digital dash and illuminated entry added on the window sticker. So one of 8 produced with those option combinations. This car came from Charlottesville, Virginia. It was sold new. Heritage Cadillac in Lombard, Illinois, and was moved to Charlottesville shortly after and owned by the same family. It was passed from the original owner to her son and then to her grandson, and I bought the car from him.
Very nice. Now that's a unique color. Were you specifically looking for a car like this or this color combo?
It likely would have been the color of my great-grandparents' last new Cadillac. They had an 86 sedan DeVille in Academy gray with gray leather. and this car would have been probably the replacement for the 86, but unfortunately my great-grandmother was diagnosed with a brain tumor and they didn't get to replace the car.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But wow, this is a stunning vehicle, really nice. I love the fiber optic cables, that's neat.
Yep.
From that era, yeah, this is really, really beautiful.
This is traditional Cadillac. The door chime, you know, the gold keys, you know,
yes.
The fiber optic lamp monitors.
Thank you for showing me on the video, and this will get some looks, I'm sure, at the show.
Absolutely.
People love it.
Appreciate it.
Of course. And for all the Elante fans out there, we'll take a look at this particular one. This is 93, came with the North Star. It is for sale too, if anyone's interested. And the owner had it for nearly 20 years. I think he said 17 or 18 years. Ready to sell it, just a little bit too low, harder to get into now. It has the hardtop on it, as you can see. But the body was by Pininfarina. I actually think I like the looks of the Elante with the hardtop. Honestly, better with the North Star, because they weren't so underpowered anymore. And I believe that this one has over 80,000 miles. And obviously, a lot of these people are with the Cadillac Elante XLR Club. They're out here today. And we've seen those guys before up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Great group of people. Now over here we have a lot more of modern Cadillacs, kind of some of the V-Series cars and DTSs, XLRs and all that. So we'll take a look over here and see if there's anything interesting. What year is this CTSV?
2004.
2004, first year, okay. Wow. So what kind of modifications have you done?
It's got long tube headers, an X-pipe, and about it.
Wow.
The exhaust and it's lowered 2
okay.
inches.
What kind of power are you making? Anything, do you think a little bit more than stock?
Right around 500, I think. 4 to 5 had the LS6. 6 and 7 had the LS1. They went to a 6-liter.
Okay.
But made the same power. And
sure.
then after that, they got the supercharged.
That's right, the second gens. Yeah, yeah. I don't see too many of the first gens though. I think they're pretty neat.
I like them.
I mean, they're relatively rare, I think, and they have a nice edgy look. I think the first gen V cars are like underrated. Like no one really talks about them.
No, everyone thinks the second gens are the first gen.
Exactly, they do, and they forget about this. But no, this is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love it. Look, how many miles are on it?
109,000.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, we drive it everywhere.
Wow. Good for you. I'm glad you do. Well, thank you for showing me the car's name. Alex?
Alex.
Alex, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is a really nice color, like a teal, kind of greenish blue. The sign says 1996 Cadillac Brome. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, I love this color. The tan does look really nice, and I also just love the exterior color. Very unique. I can't say I've seen another Brome with this particular paint job. And over here is an Electra Blue XLR. This is a 2009. We can tell by the front end, which has been kind of refreshed from the pre-2009 XLRs. And I've actually seen a couple of these XLRs around, these Electra Blues. This may actually be one that I've seen, yeah, from Cleveland, Ohio. I believe that might be the same person that I've seen before. But I love this color. I believe you could only get it in 2008, 2009. Pretty rare, and being in 2009 obviously makes it all the more rare. And the kind of trapezoidal exhaust on the bottom. And this XLR-V is a 2009. You can tell by the different fog lights in the bottom. Also very rare, but this one looks just to be black. Not quite as special of a color, but still a really rare car. And here's a CT6V. We've seen a couple of these before. I believe the last time may have been at Amelia Island, but this has the Blackwing engine. Pretty powerful as well. I don't really remember exactly what the figures are, but I believe it's over 400 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque.
550 horsepower, 647 pound-feet of torque.
Yeah, that's a lot. And as the sign said, this engine was not available on any other vehicle, and they only made maybe a few hundred, 1,000 of these, not a whole lot, but lots of room back there. Still has the screens. This one has that option. No Super Cruise on the V's though, which is a shame. It still has a heck of a lot of other features, and I love the looks of it. Such a good looking car. Too bad the CT6 is no more, at least in this country. Beautiful. Wow.
That's the way it came out of Cadillac in '57 in Detroit.
Oh, I love it. Beautiful color combination.
And having all the power seats, all those positions, that must have been unusual.
Coupe de Ville, 1957. 41,000 miles. Clock in the dashboard.
Yeah, you don't heard of that.
Just remember.
So it's a 57, you said, correct?
It's a 57.
57.
Cadillac Coupe de Ville. I bought it in 1977, 47 years ago, and it had 37,000 miles on it. And the car was not in this condition. I paid $1,500 for this car 47 years ago. I'm a poor man from east of Pittsburgh. Couldn't afford it. I put 4 kids through college, and once they were through college, I convinced my wife to spend a couple bucks on the car. It has 41,000 miles on it now, which means I put 4,000 miles on it in 47 years.
Really?
Which is about 82 miles per year. Okay.
Wow.
It's gone to Hershey and won first junior in 2019. 21 I returned after the pandemic, and I got my senior badge. The history of the car was it sat for 20 years, and I did things I could, do. The thing I did was get the frame underneath the car glass blasted. Very good paint finish, which is still on the car some 45 years later. Did a lot of the stuff myself, and I'm not a very good mechanic, but with patience and whatnot, and busting a couple bolts off and learning how to rethread things and whatnot.
What's your favorite thing about it? Do you have one thing that you love the most?
Yeah, what people talk about the car more than anything else is the paint color, Castel Maroon. It's the original color of the car. When I showed the car to a field of 482 cars in Harrison City, Pennsylvania, where I live, in 2014, all right, the car took #1 out of 482 cars. So when I was there, this gentleman walks by and he said, "Wow, what a beautiful Cadillac." And I said, "Yeah, you like my car?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I had one like that." "Well, when did you have this car?" He said, "Well, this is," I said, probably wasn't this color, because it's a very unusual color. He said, "No, it's the same color."
Really?
I said, "Well, when did you have a car like this?" 76, 77, and 78.
Okay.
And I said, "Well," he said, I had it in Delmont. I had a used car lot." I said, "You had a used car lot in Delmont?" I said, "Is your name Rick Flowers?" He said, "Yes."
Oh my goodness.
4 years later. And I said, "Guess what? You sold me this car on August 14th, 1977.
Wow.
He said, "I did." He said, "I knew I shouldn't have sold that car." He said, "What did I sell it to you for?" I said, $1,500. He said, "Damn it, I knew I sold it too cheap."
Right.
Yeah. True story.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you for bringing it out. We have a whole row of Eldorado Baritzas here, it looks like. But we also have a couple Bromes here. That one's obviously in pretty original shape, but this one is in an interesting color that I've never seen before. It's almost like a black cherry on some of the newer Cadillacs. But these were, of course, hand-built cars. We've seen them many times before, but they're always nice to stop by and see. This one is a 58. Incomparable Eldorado Brome, an entirely new product of Cadillac's devotion to the cause of automotive quality and excellence. Custom built in limited numbers, has been deliberately designed, engineered, and built to provide the rarest satisfaction in all motordom. Its styling is breathtaking, crowned by a shimmering roof of brushed stainless steel. And in the back, it probably has some of that makeup stuff that you would have had for the woman in the back seat. Got a 1959 Cadillac there with the huge rear fins. There's an early 50s model, maybe a 53 or so, I think. Could be wrong. And there's another one here, but this one is a Fleetwood 1959. Just look at that front end. And I love the quad headlights up front, fog lights, maybe turn signals, whatever they are. What a look, though. 1959 Cadillac four-door sedan, Fleetwood. Someone added some seat belts, but that's a good addition. Just look at that, how much space is in there. 76,000 miles, it looks like. And we'll take a look at the back end so you get a better view of those beautiful pointed taillights. And I love how the metal on the back matches the grille in the front. Another station wagon, look at that glass in the back, that's pretty neat. 1963 Park Avenue Vista wagon. Check out the inside. I really like that color combo and all those vents on the back. And the Vista glass, that is so neat. And there's the engine.
Kind of looks like it's the back of the seat.
Probably not a whole lot of room though. Huge white walls on this 1960. As you can see, the fins were starting to get smaller at this point after 59 when they were at their biggest. It's amazing how quickly it was changing, just one model year after another, and the style was already kind of wearing off a little bit, becoming more subdued, kind of like these early 60 models that are lined up there. We'll take a look at this 1966 DeVille convertible. The owners had done quite the restoration on it. We'll talk with them real quick.
Bottom line, we did all the body work. See this, Alex? Right?
Yep.
Putting all the brakes on. My daughter doing the gas tank. This is when we were only going to clean it up and make it into a driver. And that's the guy, Neil, that had the vehicle at 18 years old. We tracked him down. He was in the Air Force. His name was spelled Neale. So luckily we found him. And I said, Neil, we got your car that you had when you were 18, and we bought it from the original owner. He's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I got that car on the road. It had a bad timing chain cover for the original owners, and I spent hours, all the entire fall. Then snow came. I never got to drive it, and then I had a knee injury. So some collector came and put $1,000 on the hood and sold it. So we called him up after the car was done, and I said, Neil, why don't you come to the house now, because he's living in Watertown, New York, and you can come drive the car. So we put the top down for the first time ever, and I let Neil drive the car as the first guy to drive it. And he had tears in his eyes, and he's like, oh my gosh, I regretted the day I sold that car, and thank you so much for calling me up. So I said, Alex, it's not always about, getting the awards and so forth. It's about meeting the people and impacting other people. And,
What is this for? What is that access?
Oh, that is the cover for the fenders. I luckily found a box of 10 of those, so in the factory they would pop those on after they install the fender, because it's the only way you can get to the fender bolts.
Oh, to get the fender bolts.
Take it off, yeah. And then I had 7 parts cars, so that's why I figured out all the markings from the factory, and I found that these are the factory worker markings. Like, this might be worker 119, shift 2 or something. And, wow.
I don't know, I might go crazy doing a 10-year project with my dad, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, a little bit. I can't believe just what it looked like before, though, and what it looks like now. It's like just totally a different car. It's amazing.
We have no.
Wow, what a beautiful era.
None whatsoever.
Yeah, look at that.
Your pedal will feel different. So if you set it,
wow.
See the.
Oh yeah, that's where it would have been. Okay.
And then if you want to change the speed, just move the dial. You don't have to move your pedal. If you want to go up 10 miles an hour faster, you just move the dial up 10.
I love the genuine wood. That is beautiful. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Oh, and it has the footrests in the back too, and writing tables, it looks like. Push of a button, and then you have a table.
With a light.
Roll with a light too. Wow, I love that.
Reading light behind you.
Okay, yeah, reading lights, and those are on. These Fleetwoods just had so many different options at the time. So many features. There's the back end. Absolutely beautiful. Lots of mid-60s Cadillacs here. Just every single era you can think of pretty much has quite a lot of cars around. I mean, there's just so much here to see, which is awesome. The whole field is covered in Cadillacs, and these Grand Nationals are the place to be. And what's nice is that the Grand National happens, of course, every year, but usually it flips between the West Coast and the East Coast, essentially. So if you have the chance to go to one of these shows, hopefully one would be near enough to you to drive to, worth going to if you can make it. We'll take a look at this Eldorado. This is from probably the mid-late 60s. Take a look here and see what the sign says. 67 Eldorado Coupe. Again, a very unique style. I actually like this look a lot, especially with those wheel covers too. And I believe that 1 year of these Eldorados could be optioned with heated seats, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe even been the first car to offer such a feature. And I love that it looks like there's actually a dial there on the other side of the steering wheel. Maybe that's also for the cruise control. I'm not entirely sure. Now they've got a really nice setup of some pre-war Cadillacs, it looks like over here, some V16s. Let's see if you can take a closer look. Now this is a Cadillac, once again a V16. 1930 Cadillac 4276 Coupe. It's amazing having a coupe and a V16 all in one. And a literal trunk on the back to store all of your things when you travel. The style is really cool, and it has that foot resty, whatever you want to call it. Beautiful looking gauges. Big horns up front. And I bet that these lights, yeah, they do turn with the wheel so you can see where you're going. I love the wire mesh grille chrome grille up front. Kind of reminds me of some of the V-Series Cadillacs, so they have a similar grille. Rumble seat up in the back, that's pretty cool. It actually has little armrests. Still doesn't look all that comfortable. Wow, look at all that artwork. It's like all the different intricacies. I don't know if that's painted or what that is. Oh, the golf clubs would go there?
Yep, that's for the golf club.
Oh, that's neat. I can't say I've actually seen a LaSalle convertible before. And I like that little box over there. It looks like it has little cubbies and stuff you can put stuff in. It says Cadillac on it though. Maybe that's not stock, I don't know. We'll get a quick shot of some of these other cars they have set up here in the circle. Except that one looks more like a Cadillac. 1934 Cadillac 5776 Coupe. Yeah, beautiful interior. Well, Dad, should we check out that Series 75 over there, that black one?
You know,
see what it looks like?
Series 75s, we got to check it out.
Let's look at it. This is a really big car. It's also a V16. I think it does have a divider window, but I don't know if, okay, it does say formal sedan.
Later than this would have had a second radio on the back.
Very nice. Okay, everybody, well, we made it through to see all of the Cadillacs at the Cadillac and LaSalle Club Grand National for 2024. I hope that you all enjoyed it, especially being Cadillac people. I'm sure that you did. But once again, thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to take a look at the Cadillac and LaSalle Club and gmcarclubs.org in the links in the description. Please consider joining those groups. There are people that work really hard to put on shows like this and trying to keep these groups alive and running. So please visit those links and feel free to check it out. And you can also check out all of the General Motors Club apparel if you want to buy a shirt or a hat or something General Motors Club related. So once again, thank you all so much for watching, and please come again soon for more videos. Thank you.